There is no current brush fire hazard. It's been raining in the area fairly well, so the vegetation is very green. All that's burning is whatever is in direct contact of the hot lava or the hot rocks. Nothing else is spreading beyond that. In fact, it's been a smoldering type fire, if anything, along the fringes of the eruption itself. So there is no brush fire threat or wildland fire threat at this time. Some of the smoke conditions, depending on the trade winds or how the winds are blowing, I understand some people downwind have been smelling it at night, as far down as Nanavali. I think we've heard some residents say they can smell things burning in Nanavali. But today the conditions were very light, and that's what it looked like today. This picture here, you can see this is where the current eruption is at, or the flow. The Pahoa up in the distance, and what's burning. And obviously right here, what you see is steam, and again, Dr. Jim will give a better explanation of the activity. But there's very little smoke or burning down in this area. So far, there's nothing to see visibly, and that's why we're trying our best to encourage the community not to try to drive up there, because it can be frustrating for the Kohi residents, having unusual traffic through their subdivision. The roads are private roads, adding to the wear and tear. And they're trying to keep their lives in order, as well as make plans if they want to relocate any of their livestock and belongings. So we would ask the community to respect that. So as this continues, and we hope it doesn't, we're being very optimistic and hopeful that it might stop. Right now, there's no indication that the flow is going to stop, but Dr. Jim will give you more information on that. So we just need to be better prepared. And that's part of these meetings we've been having. It's not to scare the community or raise any fear or concerns, but just to have all of us think about it. It is something in our backyard. It's a hazard we live with, and we just all need to be prepared for what it could and might do. And obviously, I'm trying to be as optimistic as I can that it hopefully will stop. Again, on the handout, I've identified 3 levels of or conditions of threat. With level 3, we're at least 36 hours out. We'd be notifying the community that there's possible imminent threat to your subdivision. 24 hours out, we want to make sure the evacuation is already in progress. And then on the, 24 hours out, we'd be securing the subdivision to prevent people from going in, because we want to make sure, again, the residents of any affected subdivision can move their belongings, evacuate safely without any fear of looting or criminal activity. So we want to keep them secure, as well as if it does, and again, I hope it doesn't, if it affects the community, this is people's homes, livelihoods, their life savings that may be affected, and to allow them the respect to deal with that on a very personal level. So we'd be initiating a restricted area and limiting access with the exception of the area residents only.
So the lava flow continues to be active, although it's relatively weakly active. This is a picture from this afternoon. We had 2 overflights, one civil defense one this morning, and then an HVO one this afternoon. And what this is showing is, so here's that defunct geothermal drill pad. It's just a well site. We use it as a landmark because it doesn't move. Here's and the current activity is this stretch of steam spots that are coming out of a crack that Daryl noticed this morning. We noticed that it moved a little bit farther by this afternoon. After our overflight, we came to some conclusions, some measurements. There is still no imminent threat to residential areas. The active surface flows are actually back here. That is lava that's flowing on the surface of the ground that's active. 5.3 miles from the Waukelleupuna Kauhe homestead's boundary. So it's actually farther back than it was in the last meeting. However, the steaming crack has moved a little bit closer. And we inferred that there is lava inside the steaming crack moving northeast, east-northeast. So it's 1.6 miles. I think on Tuesday night it was 1.8, I think we had it measured. So just a little bit of history of these eruption maps like this. This was August 22nd, where the lava had just gone into the crack and it was manifesting as a line of steam. The 25th is when this small pad of lava popped out and then popped back into adjacent cracks. And the map from this afternoon, where it's back into a crack that continues to extend to the east-northeast. This is a little bit closer view of the activity this afternoon. This is a thermal image again. It looks very hot, but it's not. It's simply stagnated lava that's cooling off. It is hot, but it's not active. And the crack is so narrow that you can't really see it in the thermal view, but you can see it in this visual view. The temperatures, interestingly enough, the temperatures of the steam coming out of this crack were higher than, in places, were higher than the steam coming out of the August 22nd crack, which suggests that the lava is closer to the surface, but we still can't see it in the crack.